Ever tried to just, hit the off switch on your brain, but it feels like it's stuck?
Yes, stuck on overdrive.
Exactly. Those days where anxiety is just buzzing away and you can't focus and the thoughts just keep coming, especially when you're trying to wind down.
Mhm.
If that feeling, that sort of relentless mental chatter sounds familiar, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Yeah, today we're really pulling back the curtain on a molecule that gets talked about a lot is the brain's calm button,
Or the off switch.
right? The off switch.
Right.
GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid.
And here's what really jumped out from our research, the truly surprising part. A problem with GABA, like not having enough or your body not managing it well,
Yeah.
it isn't just about feeling mentally frazzled.
No, it's not. We found it's deeply, intricately connected to your physical health, too, especially your digestion.
Which is
It
fascinating.
really is. So our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, a way to understand this really complex but honestly vital part of your health.
We're going to uncover some, well, surprising truths about GABA, look at why the usual fixes often don't quite cut it,
Why they fail.
and figure out what actually works based on what we've learned.
The goal is for you, listening, to connect these dots quickly, have those aha moments.
Yeah, link things together that maybe seemed separate before.
Yeah.
It could honestly change how you view your own body and mind.
Okay, so let's dive in. GABA, at its heart, it's the principal inhibitory neurotransmitter.
Inhibitory, so the main calm down signal.
Exactly. Think of it like the brakes for your nervous system. It's the crucial counterbalance to all the go, 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 all the excitation we deal with every day.
Okay, so if GABA is supposed to be our internal calm switch,
Mm-hmm.
what happens when it's, I don't know, faulty? Or maybe your body just can't manage it properly?
Well, the fallout, the symptoms, they can be incredibly broad and often kind of misleading.
How so?
Mentally, you've got the things maybe you'd expect. Anxiety, feeling down, depression, that relentless mental hyperactivity we mentioned.
Right, the brain won't shut up.
Precisely. But, and this is key, it doesn't stop there. The research clearly shows direct links to digestive problems. Things like persistent constipation.
Constipation?
Really? Yes. And that uncomfortable, sometimes painful feeling in your abdomen after eating. Postprandial pain.
Wow. Okay, so mental and digestive. What else?
Physically, we often see just crushing fatigue, insomnia, even if you feel exhausted, just chronic tiredness, and sometimes even like generalized aches and pains all over.
It sounds like it could be anything.
That's exactly the problem. It's so varied, it makes interpreting it really difficult. GABA deficiency can kind of mimic so many other conditions. It's tough to nail down unless you know what you're looking for.
Okay, so how do we start to understand it then? What's the framework?
Well, to really get GABA, you need to understand its partner, or maybe the other side of the coin. And that's glutamate. Glutamate is the main excitatory neurotransmitter.
So if GABA's the brake.
Glutamate's the gas pedal, definitely.
Got it. Makes sense.
Now, glutamate is totally natural, totally necessary. It's what lets us do things, solve problems, react to stress, even fight or flee if we need to.
Right, it gets us going.
But if there's too much of it, or, and this is critical, if our body can't properly transform it, the research shows it can become excitotoxic,
Yeah,
even neurotoxic.
toxic. So something essential becomes harmful.
If it's out of balance, yes.
Yeah.
Which leads to this really fascinating kind of evolutionary dance in our bodies.
Okay.
Glutamate lets us do, respond, act, be alert. Then GABA lets us not do, switch off, rest, calm down, especially, at night.
Right, the transition.
And here's the kicker. GABA comes from glutamate. It derives from it, not the other way around.
Oh, interesting. So action first, then the mechanism to recover from action.
Doesn't that just make perfect evolutionary sense?
Yeah.
We needed to act, but maybe even more importantly, we needed to be able to switch off after acting, to rest and repair.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens if that switch, that transformation, doesn't work well?
Then our minds get stuck. We literally cannot stop thinking. We stay in that sort of mental war footing, even when we're trying to relax or sleep.
Like a hamster wheel in your head.
Exactly. Running a marathon on a hamster wheel, nonstop.
Okay, this is making sense. But how does that transformation happen from the gas, glutamate, to the brake?
This is where a maybe unexpected hero enters the picture, vitamin B6.
B6? Really? I think of B vitamins for energy, mostly.
Well, yes, but B6 has this incredibly specific, crucial role here. That transformation, glutamate to GABA. It happens via an enzyme. It's called glutamate decarboxylase, or just GD.
GAD, okay.
And here's the crucial piece. The GAD enzyme absolutely needs vitamin B6 to work. It's vitamin B6 dependent.
So no B6 or low B6?
And that conversion gets blocked, or at least significantly slowed down, which leads straight back to that glutamate excess, the excitotoxicity we talked about.
Wow. It's like a missing key.
It really is. And what's also interesting is that this issue seems to affect women more frequently, potentially due to specific hormonal sensitivities interacting with this pathway.
Okay, so this is huge. If B6 is so critical, can you actually, find out if you're low? Is this something measurable?
Yes. And this is really empowering. You can measure your B6 levels. Specifically, you want to look at the active form, P5P,
P5P.
pyridoxal 5-phosphate. That's the form your body actually uses. You can get it checked with a blood test, or sometimes an oligothicin can give insights too.
So you can get real data. It's not just guesswork.
Exactly. Gives you a tangible starting point.
That's good to know because, people try things like meditation or yoga.
Right. And things like mindfulness, Tai Chi, even that simple square breathing technique, they can definitely help lower the overall excitation. They are valuable tools.
But
if your body fundamentally lacks the biochemical machinery, the B6, the GAD enzyme activity, to actually make the GABA from the glutamate,
those calming practices might not be enough on their own.
they might only get you so far. It highlights that it's not just about managing stress from the outside in. Sometimes you have to fix the internal chemistry too.
Okay, this is connecting a lot of dots. Now, you mentioned digestion earlier. Let's broaden this out. The gut-brain connection is huge, right?
Absolutely massive. The intestine-brain axis, linked by the vagus nerve, it's a constant two-way street.
And GABA plays a role in the gut, too, not just in the brain.
Yes, and this is remarkable. It has really specific, important jobs locally, right there in your digestive system.
Like what?
Well, for starters, in the pancreas. GABA is involved in the proper release and synthesis of insulin.
Insulin, so blood sugar control.
Exactly. Which is vital for managing glucose. And think about modern diets, right? There's this issue of glucose intoxication, just too much sugar messing up our metabolism. And conditions like insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes can actually directly interfere with that critical glutamate to GABA conversion we've been talking about.
Creating a vicious cycle.
Precisely. But it doesn't stop there. In the intestines themselves, small intestine, large intestine, the colon GABA helps ensure correct motility.
Motility, so keeping things moving.
Keeping things moving smoothly, processing food, eliminating waste efficiently. And even in the stomach, GABA helps with the proper release of digestive enzymes.
Okay, pancreas, intestines, stomach, anywhere else.
The liver, too. It helps stimulate the right detoxification processes, the whole enterohepatic circuit. It's really involved system-wide in the gut.
So it totally makes sense then if you have a lack of GABA locally in the gut.
It could easily lead to those common digestive complaints. Indigestion, that chronic constipation we mentioned, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS.
Even potentially more serious things.
Potentially contributing to conditions like Crohn's disease, yes. If you've been struggling with gut issues that just won't resolve, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could a local GABA imbalance be part of the picture?
Definitely. And you mentioned something else quickly, a link to tryptophan.
Ah, yes. Just as a side note, there's also a fascinating connection between GABA issues and the tryptophan pathway. Tryptophan gets converted to 5-HTP, then serotonin, then melatonin.
All crucial for calm, mood, and sleep.
Exactly. So imbalances in GABA can ripple out and affect those systems too. It's all interconnected.
Okay. This brings us to something I think a lot of people try and maybe get frustrated by. Supplements. You see GABA supplements everywhere.
They're incredibly popular.
And the promise is usually instant calm, right? Take this pill, feel better, less anxious, fix your brain GABA.
Right. That's the common belief. But here's the reality check, the sort of bombshell from our deep dives.
Okay.
Oral GABA supplements. They largely just stay in your intestine. Critically, they do not cross the blood-brain barrier in any significant amount.
Wait, really? So swallowing GABA doesn't really boost brain GABA?
Not directly, no. The brain is very protective. It has to make and manage its own GABA supply internally.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
Wow.
Because that leads to another idea I've heard, that the GABA in your gut travels up the vagus nerve to calm the brain.
Yeah, that's a common misunderstanding. Many people think it's like a direct phone line.
But it's not.
The research suggests it doesn't work quite like that. The GABA molecule itself isn't transmitting directly up the nerve. However, and this is a really important nuance,
Okay.
your gut has its own nervous system, right? The enteric nervous system, millions of neurons. It's like a second brain.
Right.
That system does send signals, calming information, up to the brain via the vagus nerve. And that information can then stimulate your brain to produce its own GABA.
Ah, so it's indirect. The gut signals the brain, hey, things are calmed down here.
Yeah.
And the brain responds by making more of its own calming chemical.
Exactly. It's a communication pathway, not a direct delivery system for the GABA molecule itself.
Okay, well, that explains a lot. It explains why so many of us might feel frustrated. You try these supplements everyone talks about.
And you don't get the results you were hoping for, especially for the mental symptoms.
Yeah, and it can feel pretty hopeless, like nothing works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the good news, really, is that the solution isn't about finding the magic pill. It's about understanding these underlying processes.
So the real goal isn't just adding GABA from the outside.
No. The true key, based on everything we've looked at, is enabling your body to make its own GABA efficiently by transforming glutamate and also naturally lowering excess glutamate levels. It's about fixing the internal production line.
Okay, so how do we support that internal production line? You mentioned B6. What else is involved?
Right, so let's talk about the integrated solution. B6 is critical, but it's not alone. Other vital nutrients, cofactors, are needed for that glutamate to GABA conversion.
Like that.
You're talking about zinc, iron, and magnesium. Magnesium is often called a wild card, but it's incredibly important, especially working together with the others.
Zinc, iron, magnesium. Okay, important minerals.
Very. But there's another layer here, perhaps the hidden conductor of this whole orchestra,
Go on.
your gut microbiota, those trillions of beneficial bacteria living in your gut.
The microbiome. How does that fit in?
They play an absolutely crucial role in the transformation of glutamate to GABA. Some gut bacteria can actually produce GABA themselves, or they influence the process.
Seriously, the bacteria involved too.
Deeply involved. And here's the flip side, what's really astonishing. If your microbiome is out of balance, what we call dysbiosis.
Like yeast overgrowth, parasites, infections.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fungal overgrowth, parasitosis, chronic infections, even something called endotoxemia. These conditions don't just block the GABA transformation itself.
Oh, no.
They also mess with your ability to absorb those essential cofactors we just mentioned.
Yeah.
B6, zinc, iron, magnesium, even if you're eating them, even if you're supplementing.
It's a double whammy. The bad gut stops GABA production and stops you absorbing the things you need to make GABA.
You got it. It traps you, which really closes the loop on how this becomes a vicious cycle.
Okay, spell it out.
You have a poorly functioning gut, maybe starting with microbiome issues. That messes up GABA locally and hinders cofactor absorption. This contributes to mental hyperactivity because you can't make brain GABA properly. The stress from that mental state can then further damage the gut.
And around it goes. Wow.
It really highlights this concept of integrative and functional health. You simply cannot look at the brain or the gut in isolation. The organism is one interconnected system.
A global system.
Completely. Which raises a really practical question for you listening. Where do you even start trying to fix this? What's the order of importance?
Yeah, it feels complex.
Our sources actually suggest a pretty clear sequence to keep in mind. Think. Microbiome first. Then GABA production. Then its impact on the brain. And understanding all the metabolic circuits connecting them.
So foundationally, it really points back to the gut.
It strongly suggests that gut health is absolutely foundational for your overall mental and physical well-being in this context.
This whole deep dive, it's really shown how tightly woven our mental peace and our physical health are. It's not separate things at all.
Not at all. We've seen GABA's critical calming role, that delicate dance between glutamate and GABA.
The absolute necessity of B6, but also zinc, iron, magnesium.
The profound gut-brain link. And crucially, the central role of the microbiome in all of this.
And importantly, why just grabbing a bottle of GABA supplements off the shelf often just misses the whole point.
Completely misses the underlying mechanism.
So thinking about you listening, what's the takeaway? What do you do with this information moving forward?
Well, the advice, really, pulling from all this material is, first, try to assess your specific needs. Maybe that involves actually measuring your B6 levels like we discussed.
Get some data.
Get some data. Then focus on the fundamentals. Improve the habits that support your overall gut health. Address the microbiome if needed.
Build the foundation.
Exactly. And then, if necessary, you can complement those efforts with the specific cofactors your body actually needs.
Yeah.
Zinc, magnesium, etc. But don't just blindly supplement.
Right. It's about targeted support for your internal system, not just throwing things at it.
Precisely. Build a robust internal capacity to manage this balance yourself.
Okay. So as we wrap up, here's something to maybe sit with, a final thought to ponder. Consider this. How much of that deep sense of inner calm we all crave, that ability to truly relax, maybe even that feeling we call happiness,
Hmm.
how much of it isn't just some abstract mental state,
But actually rooted in.
rooted in this incredibly complex, mostly unseen chemical symphony happening inside us, particularly that delicate balance between the gut and the brain, orchestrated by things like GABA and our microbiome.
Yeah. It's profound when you think about it biochemically.
It really is. What new possibilities open up for you when you start listening, really listening to that internal wisdom, instead of just looking for the next external fix?